So I'm going to show you how to get early Van Halen tone with less than $100 worth of pedals. Few caveats before I really start playing here. First, I cannot play like Eddie Van Halen. I'm not even really going to try. Because quite frankly, I've had a hell of a week at work. I've spent a lot of time typing and my hands feel like mush. So any attempt at soloing I tried to make just didn't work. So ignore my playing, focus on the tone. Secondly, I don't want to get hit with any copyright strikes, so I'm kind of going to get close to some of their songs, but hopefully not over the line to where it sounds actually like the song. So with that in mind, enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to Chuck's Guitar Geekery. Next in my installment of pedal boards for $100 or less, I'm going to conquer the Eddie Van Halen Brown sound of the first couple Van Halen albums. You know, it goes without saying, when the first Van Halen album dropped, that just kind of completely revolutionized guitar where it was, and from there on out, everyone was just trying to imitate it. And to this day, people are still trying to imitate it. Quite frankly, it wasn't really that complicated. I mean, he had a few tricks up his sleeve. He pretty much had an old Marshall, turned everything up to 10. He used a Variac to kind of starve the power going to it, which I think was more just to keep the volume down. And then I think at least on the first album, what he did was he had that head going to a dummy load, and a line out from that dummy load would go through the effects, and then to a MOSFET or some sort of power amp to actually push the speakers. But really, it was those effects in between the amp and the power amp that, you know, because this was kind of before effects loops were really a thing. So having the delay after, using one of those old Echoplexes, it's not the same as having a modern delay pedal. Modern delay pedal, for the most part, is not going to affect your core tone. It only affects the delays. The Echoplex, the preamp in it, added its own coloration. To tell you the truth, that type of preamp has become a secret tone weapon of mine. I actually use the Dunlop EP101, which is just like the preamp part of it, but there's also a few cheaper options like the Mosky XP I'm using here, and that can be found for under $20. So you put that after the distortion. For the distortion, I'm using the K-Mize US Dream, which really just sounds like a hot-rodded, souped-up Marshall in a box type of pedal. So pretty much any Marshall in a box type of pedal will get you in the ballpark here. If you combine it with the XP booster, or if you're going to spend more money, the exotic EP booster is what that's mimicking, or the Dunlop EP101, but if you're cheap, the Mosky XP will do the job just fine. And what that does is it kind of smooths out the high end a little bit, adds a little bit of low mids, and a slight bit of compression on its own. And the Safu digital delay I have here kind of has that analog delay sound, even though it's called a digital delay. I don't know why, but to me, it fit the bill. And you can find them for less than 20 bucks. And also, today I just got this Music Lily phaser in. I just plugged in right before doing this video, so this is my first time hearing it too. But when it comes to Eddie Van Halen's phaser use, it didn't seem overpowering to me, so to me it sounds like it's almost going to the front of the amp. So when you put it into the front of the amp, the effect isn't as pronounced as when you have it going into the effects loop of an amp. So so I kept it in front of the distortion here. So all 4 of these pedals can be found for $20 or less. The secret to the KMI/Saphu/Music Lily is they're all the same pedals. If you search between those 3 brands, you know, they kind of fluctuate and alternate in price, but between the 3 brands, at least one of them is usually under $20 on Amazon. So you could put all these pedals together for 80 bucks or less. This guitar is kind of a 80s super strat. I've used it on all my $100 or less pedal board challenge videos, but I got it for 20 bucks at a thrift store, so I figured keep a cheap guitar to go with the cheap pedals. And the cheap amp I'm using to do this with is an Orange Terror stamp, so that's a $200 amp. Then actually I have the preamp from that going out to, and I use impulse response for the cab sim. My understanding on the first Van Halen album is he used both a greenback loaded 4x12 and an electric voice loaded 4x12. And blended the two together, mic'd with SM57s. Pretty much right on the cone. So for the impulse response, I have SM57, and I'm using a T75 Celestion loaded 4x12 Marshall. Pretty much, if you find any Marshall cab made in the 90s or 2000s, that's probably what's in it. So to me, it kind of straddles the line and gets the best of both worlds between the greenback and the EV. I think it sounded close. Let me know what y'all think. And I'm sure if I got any of this trivia about how he got his tones wrong, you polite people will let me know in the comments. And I'm going off memories. I don't script any of this out. I'm just ramble. I probably rambled too long. You've probably turned this video off. You're like, who's this dumb guy with his dumb beard and his dumb fat gut and his dumb guitar? They can't even really play tonight, trying to tell me about how Van Halen got his tone. Whatever. I'm here for fun. Hopefully you can have some fun too. So let's get into the rest of the tones. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and let's go.
you.